Hi and welcome. So we have arrived this moment where all our individual tracks that are participating in the presented composition are properly cleaned up and so EQ'd, arranged in a way that now we can head to the final mix and mastering. Now, I have to tell you that the idea of this for me showing to you how do I do what is my workflow, it's not something that you are obliged to do it, or this is the way you have to do it. This is a simplified way, the way I do it, the way I am cleaning up my tracks and preparing for the final mix and the master. Now the scope of this composition is for commercial use. So this music will be used in a background as a background music for commercials and so on and so forth. So the environment where this track will be listened will be on smartphone, tablet, computer, in car, maybe television, but that's all. So for us, now we know that the composition, the mix and the mastering of these tracks has to be in such a way that translates on those speakers. So even though maybe in your studio, if you have a home studio or whatnot, and you have big cool monitors that you can hear even at 20 hertz or at 20,000 hertz, well, your ears will not probably, but if the speakers can go high at that sound and low at that frequencies, then it's wonderful. But the speakers from smartphone definitely cannot and cannot they are really limited. So bear these things in your mind when you approach your final mix for final composition, for final mixing and mastering. So we have the track, right? So what we do now? Well, what we can do is two things. We just have to check out a little bit. We have two separate tracks that are really important to control them, and many people do not do this, but because your effects like reverb and echo is on a separate bus, is on an auxiliary bus, you can EQ even that. It's even important to do that. So individually we have the reverb. So what we can do in this case, I want to cut out again. Where I don't want more, and in the low definitely I don't want to go down on the rabbit hole, so I will like this. Right? Without? Oh, I can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it, but low, I did cut it a little bit, and in the high also. Listen. So this was with for the reverb. Now go with the echo. Same thing. Want to control so that on the low frequencies I don't need reverb or echo. That's the least I want. And high. Not too much like this, okay? So it's not much, it is not much the adjustment that I have made, but it's crucial, it's important, really, seriously. And so now that I have finished with this one, I start to listen once more, right? Now, and you are just listening attentively, and you are just listening really your mix. And this is where it's all about listening and taking decisions. So in the mixing part, you have to take decisions. And this mixing part is just to decide, because here we have, this is the part of the composition that's the lowest part, the highest part. This is the most crowded part. This is the part that I chosen especially because I know here I have lots of instruments. Here I have the majority of the instruments, and here I want, so from here, you know, it's like the decisions are we are taking the decision starting from the most crowded moment, most crowded place, and then it will be much easier when we are separating things like instruments. So here is the most crowded part of the compositions. So I will start the mixing from here, because here, if I can separate and decide which instruments to sound or which level of volume I give to individual instruments in the ensemble, then it will, if it here it sounds well, then in the other part of the composition will sound even better, because will not be this crowded, so there will be free place for those instruments that are playing. So now you have to just relax and listen your composition and take decisions and listen, you know, like for example, you can listen without the drums, right? Then just introduce, for example, drum. Second one. Say, okay, is it too loud, the drum, or not? Try to come back a little bit with the drum. Now, go back, go even further. Say, okay, it's too much, right? Then you have the bass. Cut it out. Cut it down. Slowly up. Say, okay, I can leave it here. Try a little bit more. Even more. If you are starting to listen or to hear just the bass, it's not good. take out the solo, introduce the solo, needs a lot of experience, a lot of time. You have to listen your composition, you have to listen other compositions. You can even stop, you can start and listen another composition of yours, another composition of well-known artist that you know that the mixing and mastering was really made by professionals and in studio environment and so on and so forth. So it is really industry level, all right? And then you can listen yours and listen that and re-listen, and finally you will develop a hearing that can really allow you to take proper decisions. Now, of course, if you do not have all this and you just cannot decide, there are a few things that can help you. Of course, there's the Ozone, who is starting to be more an AI-like-ish, and it can really help you. There are a lot of automatic things that really can help people who cannot hear correctly, or they do not want even to put the effort in it, or they have other preoccupations. But then what do you have? You have from, I think this one is really you have a Span. Span, it's really a free analyzer, and you can put it on your master bus and just listen and see also what it shows. You see, like in our case, look, if I'm taking out the bass, so that's the kick, right? Do we need the bass? Okay. Now you see the bass, right? In fact, you realize that the bass is really like crazy. Now you can lower it down, or so let me just take it back. So now We know that this represents the bass, so we can lower it down a little bit, the bass. But then again, you can hear that here, so it's 70, right? 70 is just way out, so 70 I said, right? So you can try out, for example, come with the 70 and lower it down there. Then look at the span. Look at there. And normally it should if you are looking, see, you have shape, so you don't have any more. You cut it down a little bit, you see? 70, 80, right there. Right? So then, you can come to here also, and the same thing you can apply even there also. Like you can come to the 17, 18, and you see, because the bass, they work together here. You are lowering down a little bit, and then let's see, together. See? Almost in the same level like the other ones. This one helped you really to understand that you had a problem here, and by eliminating this, even without the bass you still have things accumulated. This is why I told you that it's really important. So now you come with the bass. Which will a little bit take it higher, but still not that much. So Span is really helping you to see a little bit how your tracks are, how the balance is, frequency range level, and then what I used, let me just, so the mastering, so the master bus, I cut it out everything below 30 because I just don't want. And then even in the higher frequencies, I cut it back a lot. I could leave it now, but let's just see one more time. This is good that it's helping you to take decisions, but you still have to listen. And listening is really important. Always at 151, 52. That's my choice because I know there's mud always gathering a little bit. I'm just cutting back, not just a little bit. So this is my decision of mixing and what I used on the stereo master output. So it's an EQ. Then I used from OTT, from Xfer the OTT. That's a multiband compressor at the stereo bus. So it's just to do a little bit of multiband compression where I have cut back a little bit the high, the middle, and I think I will cut back the one so, and then I put just a simple limiter, really nothing much. Have to decide until where you can go with the track so that it's not over compressed and you still leave enough dynamic range of your tracks, not killing it. To be sure that it's okay, you can go even and find, where is it? Let me just, metering, loudness, okay? This is from Logic, but if you are using other softwares from Ozone, you have the possibility, you have loudness meter and so on and so forth. You see it's like 7, it's a good level. Here I can see the reduction, how much reduction do I get. I don't want too much. Okay, so I really think that I will leave it like this composition, and just to show you, because this was a crowd part, let's go with the other parts and just listen a little bit. So this composition is not yet finished, But now I can start and do the arrangement and introduce some ear candies and make the transitions and whatnot. But listen, this was the crowded moment, right? So for example, this one. So yes, this is in big the end of mixing and pre-mastering, and so this is even it's good. It's already good for commercial use. Of course, the composition is not finished. As I told you, it still need to be done, the transitions and whatnot, the ear candies. But yeah, I just wanted to really show you what is my workflow. How do I get from basic just composition, creating the basic tracks elements for the composition. How do I clean up the tracks and prepare for the mixing and mastering? So I hope this was informative. And if you are doing differently this maneuver, please share it in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching and definitely see you next time. Bye.